So today we're down here in the painfully honest home theater, I guess, and we're going to talk about the Enclave CineHome Pro, which is a 5.1 THX certified surround sound system that's totally wireless except for the power cables that of course you have to have because everything needs power. But we're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to tell you what the setup's like. I'm going to tell you my impressions, and then we're going to go from there. Not a lot of people are going to the movies, and frankly, I like staying here in my home with my LG C9 65-inch TV and doing my thing. A lot of times, people, they have those sound bars, which are really kind of not good. Enclave has put together the CineHome Pro and the CineHome 2 as an alternative to sound bars, and while I have a pretty good setup, it's all like giant speakers and all that kind of stuff. So I was interested. This is a smaller room. I wanted to see what a smaller setup would look like. This has true THX surround sound certification, so I wanted to see how that was. And so when Enclave reached out and said, hey, we want to sponsor a video where you tell your viewers about this system, I said, well, yeah, okay, let's do it. So what is the CineHome Pro? It's a 5.1 surround sound system connected wirelessly. A 5.1 channel surround sound that sets up in minutes without any bulky AV receivers or giant speakers or anything like that, and it's going to provide you dedicated surround sound, something that, quite honestly, a soundbar and a subwoofer just really can't do. It operates on its own little Wi-Fi network, so it doesn't connect to your Wi-Fi in your home. The cool thing about the wireless that the CineHome Pro puts together is that there's no lag or any interference or anything like that. Wireless has come a long way. When you install it, you just plug all those speakers in, and then one HDMI cable is all you plug into your TV. Let's go ahead and go through the setup, and I'll show you what comes in the box and all that kind of stuff so that you know what you're getting if you decide to grab one of these for yourself. It comes in a giant box that weighed an ungodly amount, and I had to get it down a small flight of stairs to get it down here, and I almost killed myself. But once I got them down here, everything came out of the box pretty easily. Everything was in these cloth bags, and they even sent like some gloves to wear while you set them up. And you might think that's kind of silly, but it does help to not get fingerprints all over your new stuff, as well as keep any dust, dirt, blah, 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 whatever it is, in these areas where maybe you don't go very often in your home theater setup. Maybe it just keeps your hands clean of all that stuff. You place them around the room as you would just basically a traditional surround sound system in all the different places. They're all wall mountable. They have different configurations of how to wall mount it, but as you can see, like I've got some I've got some concrete walls behind me, so I haven't fully figured out the surround sound mounting, but I did mount the two side speakers on the wall beside my television with just those little gorilla hooks that you can get. And they've stayed up there pretty nicely, pretty easily, and I'm pretty happy with the setup overall. And it probably took longer to get everything out of the box and put it around the room than it did to actually then get the whole thing set up. Now, there's an app that you go and you download, and it connects everything and talks to the CineHub and the rest of the speakers and gets everything set up. You take that one HDMI cord, and if you have an HDMI ARC connection on your television, which a lot of newer televisions do, then you plug the HDMI cable into that input, and what HDMI ARC does is it sends sound back through the HDMI cable as well as sending signal to the television. So it's a sort of two-way street thing. You can also set it up with optical connections or connect with the 3.5 millimeter jack if those are all your options. But the best is really the HDMI ARC setup. I plugged mine into my HDMI ARC. I got into the settings of my TV. I said, hey, HDMI ARC, that's where my sound is coming from. And the next thing you know, all the sound is coming out. It was like magic. I've had lots of different home theater setups. I've had built into the walls and the ceiling. I've had separate pieces all over the place. I've had sound bars. I've had just about everything that you could possibly have both good and bad, cheap, very expensive. The setup that I had in here was a really nice setup, but along with it came a lot of stuff. I'll show you a picture right now of what I took out of the room so you can see what the CineHome Pro replaced. Once you download the app and you get everything rolling and you get the sound coming out of your TV, the nice thing about it is everything is controlled. Just the volume on your TV remote control controls the volume. Now, if you have a universal remote that you use or something like that, you're going to have to program it one way or the other. But LG is well known for having really great remote controls, and they do. No programming, no nothing. It just controlled my volume, whatever I was watching. And that, my friends, was an amazing thing. It's great because I dig into the tech and I'll get all these convoluted setups going and all those kinds of things. But, you know, the rest of my family doesn't want to be a part of my experiment. So this actually is very nice because all you have to do is you press the power button and then you select what you want to watch here on the remote, and then you're good to go. The Cine Hub, where everything gets connected, is not really much to look at. It's just really sort of, it's a little bit bigger than an Apple TV, about the same height as an Apple TV, and all it has is someplace where you can see that the infrared can go in for the remote, and there's a green light that tells you it's working, HDMI plug on the back, etc., etc. And you could easily hide it, you know, away on in your system and not have to look at it. I just have it sitting on top of my TV stand right now, and it's completely innocuous. Once I got it going, and I've had it up for maybe a couple of weeks, and have been using it as the main TV system for listening to everything that we watch for these couple of weeks. And I was skeptical, and when it first popped on, I could hear the dialogue coming out of the speaker, but I wasn't sure if all the rest of the speakers were doing anything. It was a quiet scene. I was watching The Witcher, and so I actually went over to the surround sound speakers and put my ear on them, and there was stuff there. Ambient noise that was really sort of not something that you would notice, and the best way I can describe it, once you get into a scene where there's more going on sound-wise, the best that I can describe it is that when you have a big surround sound system, the sound kind of gets pushed at you, whereas the CineHome is more of just a sort of circle of sound, and the separation and the ambience of it is actually very nice. Inside the app, there are some things that you can control. You can tell it how far apart speakers are and all that kind of stuff. There's no automatic setup like some amps and other things have, but there's no way to actually EQ anything. The app could offer a little bit more along those lines, but I barely ever use the app. The app is really there just to get you connected, and then small tweaks after that. This isn't a full review. It's more of a first impressions and you know, just a informational video because this is a sponsored video. But I can say that I have really enjoyed using the CineHome Pro in the couple of weeks that I've had it. If I were to buy this to replace a soundbar, my mind would be completely blown by the difference. I promise you that. And even replacing a much larger, more expensive system, the CineHome Pro, it's actually a nice alternative to that giant setup. It's not the same, it's a little bit different, but I've really enjoyed the surround sound experience that I've had. So I've been trying to watch things like Batman and, you know, all the action movies that would really showcase what the CineHome Pro can do. What do you think I should watch? What are some of the things that you would watch first when testing out a new surround sound system? Let me know down in the comments and we'll have a boisterous discussion. Thanks so much to the folks at Enclave for sending this over. Thank you for being here and checking out this video. Once again, my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest, it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.